Hello, it's about time that we talk about the art of being an artist and a mother. Before I get started, please make sure to subscribe, like, engage with this content, help me reach 1,000 subscribers so I can start making some cha-ching on my, videos. But yeah, without further ado, hi, my name is Akili Nimali. I am an artist. I am a mom to my 4-year-old son, Leo. I'm a wife, and I'm in my last year in my 20s. I want to talk a little bit about my journey as an artist. So I got my start in elementary school working in theater. No, I was just like in theater. I did theater, did the violin, did dance, all that. I was on the step team. All right, clock it. Check that. I was pretty much always that girl. I got my start in being that girl. I was in theater and did TV and film and had an agent when I was in middle school, did theater and show choir in high school, went to pursue it in college and got my musical theater degree, and then worked professionally. And I've had like a lot of success over the past year since 2019. So it's been 7 years since I graduated from college and have been working professionally outside of like also being a student and being under my parents' roof. And in that time, I also have become a mom, and a wife, and have had all these other life things happen. Like I've gone and seen a bunch of my friends get married. I've seen a bunch of my friends make their Broadway debut, get on national tours, be on TV for the first time, be in movies. So it's just been really interesting because, when you're a certain age and you're going through the arts for the first time, your focus isn't to make money and your focus isn't to build a life or a family. Your focus is just to do it for the love of the art. And though there was a short point in my life where I was in the industry and I did know a lot about the money-making side at a young age, I primarily was in it for the art and am still in it for the art, but there has been a lot of layers added onto it and a lot of things that have just simplified my journey as an artist when it comes to being a mom. I have always been that girl that's been creating and been making songs in my backyard, and whenever I would play with my friends, we would always play make-believe or create shows, curate shows and then perform them for my parents. And whenever I would have sleepovers, we would always be in the living room creating dance routines. If you know, you know. I'm not the only one. That has brought me some calmness in some community, knowing that I wasn't the only weird theater girl, black girl who is interested in just being the center of fucking attention. Yeah, but I've always been someone who has done something creative and fed off of being creative, and that's just who I will always be. So when it comes to motherhood came at a time when I was in the middle of my career. I graduated high school, I did a cruise ship for a little bit, moved to New York, the pandemic hit, and then I had my son. So not only was I in a weird place in my career of just starting, just getting signed, just moving to a new city, just working professionally and dealing with also being an adult, gearing up for not being on my parents' health insurance, but I was also faced with the reality that I have to bring a child into this world and I'm responsible for this child. And at the time, I truly did not understand what that meant. I kind of just thought the worst. My mind went in a catastrophic direction just because I didn't even know what I wanted for dinner. I didn't even know how to meal plan or how to have a set routine outside of college, because we all like to act like we're perfect with routine setting in college. But the reality is we're forced to set routines if we go to college, because if we don't, we will literally fail. But it's learning to be an adult outside of the pressures of college, and I don't have anyone telling me that I have to do this. All I have is my own standards, and the only thing I'm competing against is myself, and the only person who's grading me is myself and my reality that reflects the work that I put into my dreams and my goals and aspirations. Yeah, had my son in the middle of everything, in the middle of a pandemic, which was so weird, so crazy, so terrifying. And it was all while there was just a lot going on in this industry. I remember it being one of the best and the worst times for me. On one hand, I was pregnant, so I was yay, oh my God, I get to bring this life into the world. And then on another hand, I was pregnant, so it was oh my God, I'm 23 and I'm pregnant. But then on another hand, that wasn't even in that book, I was thriving in my career because I I had just graduated and already had representation and had some momentum going, booked some jobs. Even in college, I had been working professionally. So I had a lot of confidence that, whatever was thrown my way, I could get through. I don't want to say get through like that. Because in hindsight, I'm just like, I could embrace it. I can embrace it and kind of move with it. And it wasn't going to stop me or derail me. It was just going to be a part of my story. I had a lot of confidence at the same time that I was like scared shitless. Duality. We love duality. But yeah, during that time, I remember it being especially hard because I was winning, but it felt like I was losing because the fact that I was a mom, I have a lot more time restraints than the average person who's like single with no kids. I can't just like up and go to an audition. I can't just up and do XYZ. Also, like the money factor, most people without kids can't afford to just like fly to New York for a callback or fly to LA to be seen. But especially when you have childcare expenses, that it just becomes harder to do. And your time stops belonging completely to you. Yeah, so I remember like one of the biggest successes was that I was working so much in film and television and commercial scene that I had to get my SAG card. And it was so exciting because I made like a movie debut and that was the reason I had to get my SAG card. So, in my mind, I'm like, I had to get my SAG card, but then the strike hit. There was a writer's strike. I don't know if you all remember that. Those who are in the industry and not in the industry, it was such a big strike that like people who weren't in the industry, my friends who aren't performers, were coming to me and asking me about it. And they're like, does that affect your work? And I'm like, yeah, it actually does. And I wasn't getting auditions. And when I did get auditions, I wasn't booking. And I don't know if that had to do with the fact that like there was some politics going on the other side, or it was like my own nervousness and my own like scarcity mentality was manifesting in my self-tapes and in the audition room. But at the end of the day, I wasn't booking. So it was very stressful. While trying to be a mom and keep up on this momentum, it's like you're the only one looking in the mirror telling yourself that you can do it. And sure, you have friends and family that are like, oh my God, you're so talented. I knew you could always make it. But they're not always writing checks, And to the people that were, thank you. There's nothing like being of this economy and having someone see you, understand you, and really believing you to the point that they are willing, especially when they're not in the arts. Like, they're just like, you know what? I believe in you and I love you and I see you and I want to put my dollar to my mouth, and I want to make it match. There's nothing like that type of support, y'all. It truly feels like it's just like a game changer. And it's the difference between someone who is privileged and who is not privileged. And it has definitely been a privilege to have so many people in my life that have supported me and that have stepped in when it's like, oh, I'm running low. Oh, this isn't working out. Oh, this is a weird season. The job market's weird. And they're like, I got you. You need to focus on your dreams. You need to follow your dreams. Like, that is not normal to my knowledge. A lot of people do not experience that. So I do want to take a moment and just recognize how much of a privilege it has been to have that form of community. Yeah. So the TV industry was like a mess or whatever. At the same time that the theater industry was a mess because like we're in COVID and they're either not doing performances or they're doing performances in masks, or there's all this controversy around spreading this deadly virus, but also still wanting to like have community and not lose that human aspect of live theater. I don't know. All I know is that I would just be like, listen, I'm here to see a play that's set in the 18th century and all I see is a bunch of people in spacesuits. What's going on? Like, no one can connect on stage when there's just like plexiglass in between. You're walking around looking like fucking welders. That was a time. That was a little bit of a time, I will say. And being a mom during that time truly helped me form the utmost resilience, because your girl was in auditions a month postpartum. And I don't recommend anyone doing that, but I was in dance calls a month postpartum, going through what we go through in postpartum, like not just the time restraints, not just the money, but also like the body image issues and all of the hormones that just left your body. And then all the hormones that just kind of like rushed in from having a baby, and you're dealing with all of that. And that lasts years, by the way, and it's still lasting. I'm still experiencing this postpartum journey. My son is 4, and I'm just now reintroducing myself to myself as a person separate from the artist. It's just something that I wish I had a lot more community around, because I felt so crazy. Anytime I wanted to be bold, I was in a state, mental state, and in an actual like state. Like, I was in Indiana, where, not to shit on Indiana, being in Indiana, there wasn't enough of the artistry and the mindset around being free as an artist for me to be able to thrive and exist in a way that I needed to live up to my fullest potential. Because let's be honest, I'm someone who has always believed that she will be great and is great, and I have these gifts from God, and it's like, why hide it? Why dim myself? Like, I can be modest without dimming myself. But I knew that I had a gift, and I know that I have gifts and talents and things to share, and music and art to share. And so there was no use in being in a place where like the majority of people play it small. And the people that don't play it small, because there are a lot of people that don't play it small in Indiana, they're met with so many adversities. It's like, I got enough to deal with. I am trying to raise this child. I'm trying to figure out my relationship and marriage. I'm trying to figure out my career. I'm a Black woman that chose to be an artist for a living. So it's like, I'm a Black woman, like, double homicide. It's hard. It's hard. The answer, the tea that everyone wants to know, is that it is hard, and it's so individual that there is no blueprint that's gonna really pull you out of going through all of the hardship. I would like to stress how important it is to have community, because even in this past year of moving to Chicago, I've found a lot of community, and not all of the moms that I've become acquaintances with and have found community with are artists, but they're entrepreneurs, or they're pursuing something so great and outside of themselves that like they immediately make up like the top 2% in my mind. And a lot of them are single mothers, which has motivated me and pushed me in ways that I don't even think they can conceptualize, because it's like, I hear people come to me and talk about how I motivate them, and I'm just like, how do I motivate you? Like, I am literally treading water right now, but I'm starting to see ways that I might be motivating the next person that isn't in my exact situation, because I look at someone who is a single mom who's thriving, and they're making it look easy. And that just pushes me to just stay on track, and to give myself grace and not feel bad about it. You know, I will say, like, becoming a mom while pursuing being an artist, like doing theater, but then also bouncing back to television, but then also like trying to be a band leader and produce music and release music. And I don't have a degree in music media production or composition or anything of that sort, but like, I put myself out there, and it's kind of just like having this fuck it mentality that can push you to the next level, that can take you to the next level. I truly do believe that when people talk about switching your mindset and kind of just like walking in the person that you desire to be, when people talk about that, I don't think it's mumbo jumbo, because I put it to practice, and it quite literally has changed my life. And every time that I kind of sink back into that like self-doubt, imposter syndrome mode, I notice things are stalling, and it's literally because of my mindset. I also want to say that though being a mom has been so scary, and I feel like I'm constantly stepping into the unknown, that I'm misunderstood, that I'm in so many more rooms now where I feel like no one gets it. It has simplified so much for me. And also, it has opened up so many doors for me in my artistry, and the way that I think and the way that I feel so deeply. And it's made me multidimensional in a lot of ways that I fear I probably wouldn't have had access to within myself had I not been introduced to motherhood. So if anyone is considering becoming a mother, I'll give it to you like this. We are in the scariest of times, and you should never let anyone convince you to become a mom or a parent, because first of all, not anyone can just be a mom, and not anyone can just be a parent. So I understand that these are sensitive times. They're sensitive times for me too. I had my son and I cried for months just on feeling guilty alone. Like I felt so guilty that I brought him into this world. And comment below if you are a mom who can relate. But I spent the majority of my tears on that because I felt like bad for choosing to have him. And I know that sounds so crazy, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt. And I don't know if that's like a byproduct of postpartum depression. I have no idea, but every day I just felt so guilty. I woke up and I would look at Leo and I would just be like, God, you were so perfect, and you have no idea how cruel this world can be, how judgmental this world can be, how unforgiving this world can be. You have to be on your P's and Q's, especially as someone of color, like you got to be on it. And to know that I haven't figured that out completely for myself, that I'm still taking L's. I'm still, shocked by how this world has been treating me, to know that I have to be that person and that guide for a little man I don't know. And I'm still trying to figure it out at the same time. It is terrifying, but it's also so rewarding, and it's a blessing. And I'm a better artist for it. I feel deeper. I think deeper. I don't really focus or harbor on things that aren't really worth my time and don't matter, because now I'm in my last year of my 20s. Like, for what? For what? Why should I sit here and care about how you feel about my life when you haven't sent a call, a text, a congratulations, a dollar, nothing, a word of advice? It's like, it has really simplified every aspect of my life, my friendships, relationships, everything. Even what I want out of this industry. I remember coming into this industry thinking I had to audition for everything. Like, anything that my agent sent me, I had to go in for. And the reality is, like, that's how burnout forms. It's like, especially when you're in a position like me, who's switched representations twice now. Like, I'm in a new, I'm with a new agent now, and they're trying to get to know you. So they're sending you out on things and trying to see how you feel about them, what you're right for, what the response is, and all that jazz. I used to think that I had to go in for everything and I'm not allowed to have life. But the reality is, my son has concerts and recitals already, and he's in preschool. He's going into kindergarten. I want to put him in things because I want him to be a kid, and I want to be a great mom. And that has become a new priority for me. So it really has just been about making space for it all in a way that's healthy and conducive to your values. And my values at this point in time in my life are to be a great mom and a great wife and a great artist. And I believe that I can do all three. So hopefully that resonates with someone, and hopefully that motivates anyone who is like thinking about having kids, or has had kids, or has kids, or whatever, or it's just adding on like a big layer to their life. Hopefully it encourages you to not let anything stop you, because regardless if you plan things or not, there will be things in your life that will come up, and it'll feel like a child. It'll feel like a newborn baby. And if you really love this and you really care about this and you're passionate about this, you will give yourself grace through all of those times, and not fall victim to what the industry is telling you to do, which is to push through, because I found so much success not pushing myself, but giving myself grace whilst holding myself accountable and challenging myself in a healthy way that helps me grow, but not pushing or straining myself, because you have to make room as a mom and as someone who personally was going through postpartum. You have to make room for that. Otherwise it'll show up later. So at some point you're going to have to give it time. And I chose to give it the time that it deserved right then and there, because I still have a whole life to live outside, separate from being a mom. So yeah, comment below a pic, because I'm still picking out my hair. I was like in the middle of it before I started this video, but then I was like, I have like 45 minutes before I got to pick up Leo. I need to hurry up and film this video. So I stopped picking my hair. Comment below a pic emoji if this resonated with you. If this resonated with you, and if this inspired. Jesus, I need to get off of here. Comment below if you resonated with this, if this resonated with you, or if it inspired you. And make sure to subscribe, like, share, follow me on all my socials. And if you're in Chicago, check me out. I have a show coming up June 11th at Subterranean. It's an ERYKAH BADU tribute. The tickets are $20. It's at 8 p.m. and they're $25 at the door. What else? God, I'm so bad at promo sometimes, but yeah, I'll put the link to the tickets in my description. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, stay calm, stay woke. My monarchs. All right. Love you. Peace.